IMT, dedicated to Eastern Kentucky.
Coming up, we'll have a recap of tonight's State of the Union address.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. With prices rising rapidly at home and a war raging in Ukraine, President Biden laid out his plans to confront both in his State of the Union address before a joint session of Congress and guests, including Ukraine's ambassador to the United States. CBS's Natalie Brand has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
President Biden entered the House chamber for his first State of the Union address with the focus on the war in Europe. Lawmakers wore blue and yellow ribbons to show their support for Ukraine.
Stand and send an unmistakable signal to the world of Ukraine.
The president announced he's closing U.S. airspace to Russian aircraft following the move of European allies.
Further isolating Russia and adding additional squeeze on their economy.
The president also stressed the importance of the NATO alliance in standing up to Russia's unprovoked aggression and Vladimir Putin.
He thought he could divide us at home, in this chamber, in this nation. He thought he could divide us in Europe as well. But Putin was wrong. We are ready.
On the home front, the president took credit for job growth, touted his bipartisan physical infrastructure bill, and laid out his plan to tackle inflation.
Instead of relying on foreign supply chains, let's make it in America.
The president also announced what he's calling a unity agenda, action items for Congress that have bipartisan support, including improving mental health care.
Let's take on mental health, especially among our children whose lives and education have been turned upside down.
President Biden made his case to the nation with an approval rating that's dropped to 44%. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And as is tradition, the president will hit the road tomorrow. He's going to Wisconsin with the First Lady to talk about his domestic agenda. An afternoon fire in Pike County leaves one family with nothing but each other. The Marrowbone Fire Department responded to a home engulfed in flames around 2 o'clock. Department President Robert Atkins says the layout of the home trapped the flames, making the blaze almost untouchable.
In this case, if we'd had water capability right here, we probably couldn't have saved this structure on count. It was fully engulfed, and the whole house was on fire.
The cause of the fire is not known yet. Atkins says the family was blessed not to have any injuries. The Red Cross is helping the family. Several people in eastern Kentucky were recently named in federal indictments concerning cockfighting in Pike, Clay, and Laurel counties. Timothy Sizemore, Millard Oscar Hubbard, Beechel Collett, Lester Collett, and Justin Smith face charges in one case. In a second indictment, 8 others face charges in connection with an alleged cockfighting ring in Laurel County. We have more information about the indictments on our website. State police have made an arrest in a cold case bank robbery from nearly 4 years ago. State police tell us 28-year-old Adam Akers from Moorhead is accused of robbing the Whitaker Bank in Clay City on March 23, 2018. They say he robbed the bank at gunpoint and got away with a large amount of money. Police say their investigation is still ongoing. As more mask mandates are lifted, we're continuing to see the COVID positivity rate decline. Here's a look at today's numbers. The state reported nearly 2,800 new cases today. The Commonwealth also added 44 more deaths. And the positivity rate down again today to 8.10%. We're also seeing improvements in Kentucky's hospitals. Today, only around 900 people are being treated for COVID-19. That's significantly down from the peak of the surge at the end of January when 2,500 people were hospitalized with COVID in Kentucky. The University of Kentucky says it will soon be discussing its mask mandate on campus. Right now, the university has not made any changes to its COVID policies. Leaders say President Eli Capilouto is taking feedback from his senior team, health experts, and will also be discussing issues like masking with students, faculty, and staff leaders.
finally nice to have a week where it's all quiet weather-wise around the mountains, and yeah, we've got plenty of that on the way as we head through the final 3 days of the work week and bring the first week of March to an end. Out there right now, you see what we've got. I-64 at Moorhead. All is quiet on the interstate. All is quiet above the interstate in the sky. Temperatures, well, they're variable. Look at Monticello, down to 33 right now. It's 37 Middlesboro, 41 Jacksboro. But look as you head up into north of the Highway 80 Hal Rogers Parkway corridor. It's 55 Jackson, still 56 in Prestonsburg at this hour. So some spots still seeing some mild air, though that will continue to drop, at least those temperatures into the overnight. But what's helping that out? Look at those clouds starting to work into portions of the Big Sandy. No rain coming from those, but we'll have to keep an eye on a few of those clouds for the concerns with our temperatures overnight. No rain to track out there, and we're down into the low 40s for most, though upper 30s in places that don't see clouds. Will be mostly clear heading into the overnight. I'll have the latest on when we could see warmer temperatures coming up in just a bit. Steve?
Evan, thank you. 1 year ago tonight, homes, businesses, and even entire towns were underwater after 5 to 6 inches of rain fell in 72 hours. A Breathitt County woman is still rebuilding after that historic flooding. Lisa Robinson says more than 2 feet of water made it into her home. She says the water was so high around her house that she and her daughter were trapped because the water was too high over the road. Looking back, she says that day was pretty overwhelming.
I want to have cookouts with my daughter. I want to put her a pool back here. I want her to have fun. I want those evenings, you know.
Robinson says she hopes to finish work around her house soon. Rivers in some areas reached levels 1 year ago that had not been seen in 40 to 50 years. 7 eastern Kentucky counties will be making improvements to their water and roadway infrastructure thanks to funding provided by Governor Beshear's Better Kentucky plan. Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman visited Perry and Breathitt counties to award these funds earlier today. The majority of the funding aims to deliver clean drinking water and provide quality sewer systems to folks across the Commonwealth.
It means a lot to me as Lieutenant Governor to see progress, but it really is personal to me because I grew up in a town with 1,000 people and a 4-way stop, and I lived in Mercer County until I became Lieutenant Governor, and so I know what it feels like when you see progress happening in other places, and sometimes you wonder why you're not seeing it in your own community.
The Lieutenant Governor says investments in infrastructure are important to support economic growth. You can find a list of all the projects receiving funding on our website. Lawmakers went back and forth on House Bill 3 today. The bill is an anti-abortion measure that would further restrict abortion access in Kentucky. Some Kentucky doctors worry additional abortion restrictions will prevent women from getting proper care. But the Kentucky Right for Life group rallied against abortion today. They made it clear they want abortion gone in Kentucky.
Every life matters. Every life matters, even in the womb.
Our choice is ours, and it's none of your business.
No matter what kind of abortion restrictions Kentucky lawmakers pass right now, abortion access is still legally protected by Roe v. Wade, but some think the U.S. Supreme Court could potentially overturn that decision with a more conservative court right now. A bill that would make animal cruelty suspects responsible for the care of those animals advanced out of a Senate committee today. Right now, animal shelters and local governments are responsible for those bills, and that can cost tens of thousands of dollars per case. The Lexington Herald Leader reports Senate Bill 125 would change that and put that cost on the suspects in the cases. It will now head to the full Senate. Technology is big business in Kentucky. The sector contributes nearly $8 billion annually and employs almost 100,000 people. And a new report says tech jobs will grow with the industry during the next decade. WYMT's Zach Hawk has more on a few ways to capitalize on these new jobs.
Kentucky certainly wants to have more tech jobs, and we're hoping to ride that wave.
The team at Kentuckiana Works want you on that wave. So they are partnering with the Eastern Kentucky Concentrated Employment Program to bring Code Kentucky job training to Eastern Kentucky.
The whole purpose is to provide a free program for people to learn what software development and other related technical careers are out there and get some skills in those and hopefully land a job.
The need is so great, education will have to supplement job training. Dr. Frazier at Hazard Community and Technical College says an increasing number of people are recognizing the value of STEM education.
They have a better idea. They know that the STEM-related professions are in demand, and it's their best chance, basically, to get that economic benefit.
And it is not just 18 and 19-year-olds fresh out of high school realizing that benefit.
Maybe they tried out one job and that career didn't work out for them, so they're coming back to another one because they see that STEM-related job has more opportunities.
With similar programs and job training available in Eastern Kentucky, the outlook for tech sectors remains optimistic.
Kentucky has a wonderful opportunity. You have a budding startup community there. And I said before, you have such robust manufacturing and automotive industries, and all those things require skilled workers.
The TechNet report finds tech hiring must grow 19% by 2030 to meet employer needs. In Hazard, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News.
TechNet officials say a third option for filling tech positions is through high-skilled immigration. Citing a common concern, they say it is a misperception that high-skilled immigrant workers take away jobs from native-born Kentuckians, but they actually expand the sector, creating more jobs. Coming up at 11, rural officials are calling for a restructuring of the state's audit system as some counties are left with millions in debt. And the Major League Baseball lockout continues. We'll take a look at the ongoing negotiations.
And mild air continues to work into the region this week as a taste of spring heads our way. I've got the full details on the way.
Appalachian Wireless has a plan to make your life simpler. Forward Pay.